I hope your wallets are ready for summer. Soberoni of G&A Reviews here with a beach-themed servant spotlight for your favorite fluffy-tailed fox, Tamamo no Mae Lancer. We'll be examining her stats and skills, as well as going over pointers on how to utilize her effectively, and an overall grade comparing her to how she stacks up to the other 5-star servants. I also have a guide up for the entire summer event, and a spotlight for Summer Kyohime, both up on the channel right now, so do check those out if you haven't already. But now, onto Tamamo's stats. Tamamo has a max HP of 15,147, which is average for a 5-star Lancer, but very high overall. In fact, her HP ranks in the top 10 highest overall among all servants. Her max attack of 10,726, however, ranks on the low end of the 5-star Lancers, second from the bottom, and her 1.05 Lancer damage modifier brings her attack to 11,262, still below average for a 5-star servant. Taking a look at her skills, her first skill is Beach Flower rank EX. It increases the attack of all allies for 3 turns between 10 to 20% and increases the critical star drop rate of all male allies for 3 turns between 22 and 42%, both depending on level. Her second skill is Midsummer Curse rank A. It inflicts charm for 1 turn on an enemy, but increases their Noble Phantasm charge by 1. It also decreases their defense for 3 turns between 20 and 30%, depending on level, and inflicts Curse on them for 5 turns, dealing between 500 and 1000 damage per turn, again depending on level. And finally, her last skill is Goddess Metamorphosis rank B. It implies invincibility to her for 1 turn, and also increases her crit strength, crit star drop rate, Noble Phantasm gain, debuff resist, and HP recovery amount for 1 turn between 30 and 50%, depending on level. And finally, it also inflicts stun on her for 1 turn as a demerit. Her passives are Riding rank A, which increases her quick card effectiveness by 10%, Territory Creation rank A, which increases her art card effectiveness by 10%, and Divinity rank A++, which applies damage plus 230. Taking a look at her deck and Noble Phantasm, Tamamo has a Buster Quick deck with Quick Arts Buster, and a Buster Noble Phantasm. Her Noble Phantasm is Tokonatsu Niko Hyoke Kasachoi Ichikami, which deals significant damage to a single enemy with between a 600 and 1000% damage modifier, depending on level, and deals bonus damage against males between 150% and 200%, depending on overcharge. Taking a closer look at her cards, we see that her Quick card hits 4 times, her Arts card hits twice, her Buster card hits 3 times, and her Extra attack hits 4 times. She has an NP gain rate of 1.05% and a star rate of 12.2%. Very good Noble Phantasm gain due to the high hit counts and Noble Phantasm gain rate. Very good star generating as well thanks to the double quick cards and high hits. For comparison, both her Noble Phantasm gain and star generating are nearly identical to Okita's. When it comes to Tamamo Lancer, there is a lot to talk about. First and foremost, she's a very high utility Lancer, as can be seen from her versatile skill set. Beach Flower is a stronger variant of Charisma that gives the entire party a very nice 20% attack buff for 3 turns on a short cooldown. But on top of this, it also increases the crit star drop rate of all males by 42%. That's a huge boost which synergizes well with a number of star generators, giving Tamamo Lancer even more viability as a star generator on a crit team. Midsummer's Curse is kinda like a single target variant of Shuten's Charm on a massive steroid. Like Shuten's Charm, it works on everyone regardless of their gender, making it more of a stun than a charm, and it also decreases their defense by a whopping 30%. The charm on the skill is also nearly guaranteed. It can miss on enemies with extremely high debuff resist like the Gorgon twins, but it never really misses on anyone else. It's very similar to the stun on your battle suit. However, it does come with a downside in that it charges the enemy Noble Phantasm by 1. Finally, Tamamo's last skill is Goddess Metamorphosis. It grants invincibility for a turn and then it stuns you during the following turn. The rest of the stuff that the skill gives you is great too, but you'll never really use this skill for anything other than the invincibility. Everything else is just kind of extra sugar on top. After you activate the skill, you can still attack for that turn, but immediately after you will be stunned, so keep that in mind. Skill priority for Tamamo Lancer is Beach Flower for the attack buff, followed by Goddess Metamorphosis for a shorter cooldown and more survivability, and then your Charm for last, primarily for the lower cooldown. As you may have noticed, two of Tamamo's skills have huge demerits, and that is one of Tamamo's major weaknesses. However, both demerits can be played around, and they aren't all that bad in and of themselves. In the case of her self-stun, it does save you from an enemy noble Phantasm if you time it properly, so although it does suck, it is worth it in the end. And in a similar vein, the enemy noble Phantasm increase on your charm isn't much of a demerit either, as 9 times out of 10 you'll want to stun the enemy on the turn they're about to noble Phantasm anyway, so the demerit almost never really comes into play. However, they do still limit severely her versatility, as you will need to time your skill usage, making Tamamo Lancer very difficult to use effectively. Now let's talk Noble Phantasm. Tamamo has additional benefit of being one of the highest DPS Lancers in the game. Her Noble Phantasm is anti-male, so similar to Uriel and Orion, and she's tremendously useful for killing male enemies. Most Berserkers and Archers are male, so this buff comes into play very often, even more so than Brynhilda's Beloved and Skahawk's anti-divinity. So Tamamo's NP damage is very high, and because her NP gain is so strong, she can actually spam it, making her very effective much later in the game when break bars become a thing. And Art's quick chain from Tamamo Lancer will net you 42% NP charge and 19 crit stars, so she's an ideal companion for crit teams as well. Speaking of teams, Tamamo Lancer fits right at home in most Buster teams. You'll want a good servant to buff her like Waver, Hans, Nero Bride, Shakespeare, Helena, Shuten, Lancer Liz, Leonidas, Caesar, or Nightingale. And Tamamo Lancer also shines when she's supporting crit servants, especially male Buster crit servants. Gil is a match made in heaven for her, and possibly the best offensive servant you can pair with her. Rama, Emiya, Billy the Kid, Dantes, Emiya Assassin, Kotaro, and Tristan can also take full advantage of her Beach Flower skill. Finally, Tamamo Lancer also appreciates debuff removal to help out with the stun, so Martha, post-strengthening quest Medea, Sanzo, and Sanson, as well as the Atlas Mystic Code, are all worth bringing with you. Tamamo's Bondcraft Essence is Sunset Beach. It increases the quick card and buster card effectiveness of all allies by 10%. It's a good craft essence. With Tamamo, you'll want to focus on either crit star support or damage. If you're going the damage route, make full use of Limited Zero or After Party Order, Heaven's Feel, 3 Great Heroes, or Golden Sumo. If you want to make full use of her star generating, then I highly suggest Maiden Leading Caldia, 2030, Be Elegant, or Kitchen Patriciere. I also highly suggest using Vessel of the Saint if you have no debuff removal to compensate for that self-inflicted stun. Overall, Tamamo Lancer is one of the most complicated servants to use. Her skills require you to plan out your moves in advance and strategic use of timing. The demerits on her skills take away from her otherwise versatile skill set, and her cooldowns are on the longer side, especially on her charm. However, despite the demerits, her skill set is very high utility. She packs arguably the best charm in the game. Her high star generating and star generating boosting skills give her a solid place on Buster crit teams, and her Noble Phantasm is both very strong and very spammable, giving her very good offensive presence even in the late game. So for that, she gets an A- from me. In my opinion, she is one of the best Lancers in the game, alongside Bryn and Summer Raiko next year. Out of all the Lancers in the game, she has by far the most versatility and is one of the most self-sufficient, not really needing a specific team to be built around her to be strong. However, the demerits on her skills and long cooldowns can't be overlooked. And those are my thoughts on Tama Lancer. I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding how good she is, so I'm curious what you guys think, and also let me know in the comments below if you plan on rolling for her. Please check out the in-depth summer event guide and the Kiyohime Lancer Spotlight, linked both on screen right now and in the description below. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you really enjoyed the video. Join the party over at our Discord, show us on Twitch, and follow us on Twitter. And I'll see you all in the next Servant Spotlight. So we're only out. Later.